Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a nice weekend, took some time off like I did. A lot to cover today. I get a lot of messages from people asking me, can you help me? I'm trying to show somebody this, or I'm trying to help them understand this. Today is the video for you. A lot of you have messaged, a lot of you have emailed, asked me to help. This is how I'm going to do that because I can't possibly respond to everybody's emails. Also, Republican National Convention kicking off. Our president's saying some powerful things. So we're going to touch on some things today. Give you guys a little bit of help, keep you guys in the know. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Like I said, I'm Jared. This is RedRacer Video. I'm a former car vlogger, and I'm an independent citizen journalist. Thanks to you, the viewers. You've made this possible with your donations through Patreon, PayPal, and Venmo, and by purchasing my unmasked t-shirts at RedRacerVideo.com. Thank you, everyone who has done that. Men's large and extra large shirts are pretty much gone. Women's, there's some colors that are pretty picked through. You guys overwhelmed me in the last weekend. Thank you so much. If you see value as you watch this video, or if you like this shirt, consider supporting the channel at one of the links down below. All right, so let's jump right into it, okay? Really quick, I'm going to touch on what our president said today at the beginning of the Republican National Convention, a speech that he gave that I was able to catch today. There's some very clear contrasts, and we're not going to go down the path of telling you everything he said, because he really says the same things over and over and over. And to a lot of people, I know it gets kind of redundant. It gets repetitive listening to him say the same things over and over and over. But what's sad, or what's amazing rather, is that you're getting tired of him repeating the amazing things that he's done for our country over and over and over. But they're amazing for one, and for two, he's got to keep repeating them because a lot of people that don't listen to him and only get their information from the news, believe it or not, that's news to them. That's information to a lot of these people. So, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. When this man is on TV, it's his opportunity to essentially campaign for the job again. A lot of people have to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to get the camera time he gets. He's using that time to run for president each time he gets on, especially in the Republican National Convention. But getting back to what I was saying, the clear differences in what Republicans are pushing right now, or what our president is pushing, versus what the Democrats push. All the president's doing is reminding us of all the stuff he's been saying for 3 or 4 years now. And again, it's redundant. It's all stuff we've heard, but it's all stuff that's amazing. And it's redundant because it's stuff he's been saying since he ran for president. Everything he told us he was going to do, he's done. All the stuff they've tried to stick on him since day one has not stuck. All the lies they've told have not held up. All the things he has said he was going to do and did have held up. Very clear differences. And all he's got to do on camera is just keep pointing these things out. So to the people that say, oh, all he did was get up there and brag. Well, duh. Yeah, he's going to get up there and brag because he's amazing. His administration is amazing. He's put a lot of very good people in at work, put them to work. And he admits it a lot. Again, media doesn't give him any credit for this, but our president does a very good job of getting credit, or giving credit where credit is due. Bringing people on camera that were the ones that actually did the majority of the work. Using their name. Pointing them out by name, pointing them out by organization when people, or when organizations are a big part of things that he's able to accomplish because of their contributions. He does an excellent job of that. Does he brag about his own accomplishments? Absolutely. As every politician does and should. But he's the first one that's actually doing good things and doing what he said he would do. So that's my Republican National Convention stuff. I'm not going to dig into a whole bunch of that. We're going to move on. The bulk of today's video is going to be about a couple of different things. How we can deal with people from the other side, because there are a lot of people moving over. And I don't mean over like Democrat, Republican, right, left. I just mean people who are completely dug in on their thought processes before, who have now been presented with so much information and so many facts that they can no longer blind themselves to what's actually happening. And when I say that, I am pointing out all kinds of different people. Becky, my amazing new friend Becky, someone that as the more I talk to, it's on a daily basis. It seems like the things that we speak of, and the more I kind of see who she is as a person, it encourages me that there's just people that you'd never think were ever going to allow themselves to support our president. Going, okay, man, this is logic. I can't continue to ignore the facts. So getting into this subject. And for what it's worth, I didn't say one word to Becky. Becky did all of that on her own. Becky, you're amazing. I love you. You are an inspiration to us all. Okay, so a couple of different things to consider here. I have been in my career, I managed body shops for a lot of years in my late 20s, early 30s. I've done sales, I've done finance in dealerships. I've done a lot of management training, a lot of self-development stuff, a lot of conflict resolution, a lot of trainings, disc trainings, and all these different trainings about numerous ways to handle situations, okay? Some of it's sales tactics, but to be honest with you, to anybody out there who thinks of salesmen as salesmen, let me just really quickly tell you something. You are all a salesman or woman, whether you believe it or not. We're all selling something. We're all pitching something. At our job, we've all got something. We've all got an angle. We've all got something we need someone else to do in order for our job to go smoothly. Step back and think about that for a second. That's the reality of it. So this will apply to you. So don't go anywhere. This is a video for all of you. So in conflict, let's say we've got I'm going to kind of throw out some hypothetical scenarios, okay? But you've got people on the other side. Let's use the people rioting in the cities right now, okay? People that have sparked off new riots because another individual was shot by officers. We know this is going to continue to happen. They're going to use every opportunity they can to spark off these riots. These riots are not generic. They're not organic. These aren't just upset people going to the streets. These are people who are paid. They are quite literally part of the other side's warfare. They are part of the other side's soldiers. Having said that, when these things spark off, they do get some people to come along with them that are young and impressionable. I would use the word young and dumb, but that's rude. They just are misinformed. They don't know the truth. They think they're getting behind something. But they're out there in the streets all revved up, right? They are truly outraged. They feel like an innocent, maybe innocent, but they feel like someone was gunned down in cold blood and they feel like that's an outrage. At least a little part of you has to appreciate that a little bit. Yeah, they're being stupid about it and they're not doing anything productive, but in their mind, something bad happened and this is the way they're going to do it right. Again, not a majority of them. Again, the riots, there's convenient big chunks of cement being placed near these areas. Again, I understand these things are all scripted. What I'm saying is there are people inside of these movements that we can get in front of. Those people we're not going to get in front of by standing there and being calm. If someone's freaking out and throwing a brick through a building and they want to like lose their mind because they're so angry, not all of them, but a lot of those people, you're not going to get through to those people by standing there and telling them, relax. You're being very undude. Just chill. That's not going to work. I know a lot of people think you have to keep your calm, and I'm one of them. In my videos, I've told you guys, you got to keep an even keel. You can't do the up-down thing. But sometimes you've got to match people's energy. I think a lot of us could take a lesson from this right here. A lot of you as you're dealing with people. I got an email from a lady the other day. I won't use her name. I got an email from a lady telling me about how she's basically locked in a house where it's miserable because she is so awake to everything that is going on. And she has a husband who refuses to let her think it. He won't let her watch stuff. He decides what she gets to say. There's people that are still just really dug in and they will not allow it to even be thought of or spoken of. To someone in that situation, I don't know what your answer is. But to a lot of people, the way to get to somebody like that is to get on their level. If they're depressed and if they're sad and if it's really just beating them down, you've got to kind of get down there with them. Get beat down with them. Be like, man, this stuff really is sucky, huh? This really is hard. Man, I could see how that would be overwhelming. But then you start, moving them along. Then you start going, man, if only we could do something. Maybe there is something we could do. And you slowly go from down in the dumps to slowly start bringing their mood up. And believe it or not, when you get down there with them, or when they're all hyper and you get up there with them, and then you start just kind of slowly starting to use some logic and starting to plant some ideas in their head, those ideas become their ideas before they know it. You've brought them back down to the middle. You either brought them up or you brought them down. But you have to get on people's levels. We can't just force our way of thinking on people. We can't go Bible thumping, so to speak, to these people who refuse to believe that there's a God. I'm not getting on that subject. I'm simply saying that you can't go and just tell people you're wrong to get your point through to them. We've got to break down those barriers. The idea I just gave you was one of them. Another idea that I want to talk about, and this will probably be the last subject, then I'll let you guys off easy for your Monday because I got to go do some school shopping with my kids with no mask on. RedRacerVideo.com, unmasked t-shirts. Get them while they are still here because I don't have tons left, but we do have more on order. Thank you, everybody. Again, men's large and extra large, pretty much gone, RedRacerVideo.com. But you've got a couple of different ways to approach these things. And another way to approach this, in my opinion, is illustrated by something that was said by a young lady. I think it was also in the Republican National Convention today. It might not have been. I think I saw it on Instagram, but I thought she was giving that speech there. Could have been somewhere else, and I didn't make the note. Sorry. Because I'd love to give this young lady credit. But what she was talking about was kind of the Kanye stuff, the rap music stuff. She went into the whole subject of, is there a place in pop culture for right-wing ideology? It seems like everything in pop culture, everything in the movies, everything in rap, everything in pop, everything in all this stuff anymore, seems like the vast majority of it is all left-leaning ideology. And it's because, and this young lady went on to point this out, it's because the right just basically walked away from that a long time ago. People with Republican ideologies, people who don't want to burn the country to the ground, people who don't want to defund the police, people who don't think that there is still massive amounts of racism, people that still do look at people the same regardless of what color they are and still do offer the same opportunity and the same respect. I mean, to the majority of us, essentially, it's just not quite what they're trying to make it out to be. It just doesn't work out quite like they want us to believe it does. But what she was saying was that the right kind of left all of that to the left for a long time ago. They said, you can have hip-hop. You can have the people that think that way. Oh, these people who sing pop music and all these Miley Cyrus and all these crazies and whatever, you can just have them. That was a bad move. That was a really bad move because we gave up hip-hop. We gave up rap. We gave up pop. It doesn't have to be that way. I love music. And I'll be darned if music is just going to disappear because the majority of our musicians who we've looked up to are a bunch of sickos who are all going to disappear. No. This is another opportunity for us to get on someone's level. Let's go find some new people. Let's go look. Where do you go looking for people that weren't looking at us before? Where do you go find some new people to open their eyes? In places where they basically don't look at this stuff. A lot of the people in these inner cities, a lot of these young young impressionable minds are young and impressionable, and they're doing the things they're doing because they don't know any better. That's just how it works. People are a product of their environment. I know there's the whole nature versus nurture argument. I am very much of the school of thought that you're a product of your environment, largely in part. Yes, there are things in your genes. Yeah, you either have ADHD or you don't, those kind of things. But largely in part, who you watch growing up and the things you listen to growing up will set some foundational values for you as a person. Why can't we go in then and change some of this? Enter Kanye West. And before I say this, I have not decided that Kanye West is who he wants us to believe he is. There's still part of me that wonders if maybe there's an ulterior motive there. I'm not convinced that I'm 100% on board behind the dude. And obviously I would never vote for Kanye over Donald Trump. Donald Trump's track record in his time as president just cannot be touched. He is the greatest president that has ever lived by any logical, numerical measurable. Having said that, I really, really appreciate where Kanye is coming from. That dude has a big old set of balls. Think about him being who he is, being under the spotlight he's under, being a black dude in America that raps, saying what he's saying. Singing about Jesus, rapping about Jesus. Think about that for a minute. That's pretty bold. That takes a pair. And listen to what people have said about him as a result. He's an Uncle Tom. He's a sellout. He's crazy. He's all these things. Now, granted, I don't want my kids to go start listening to an album of Kanye's where he, like 2 songs later, is singing about bitches and hoes. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not what I'm into again. But if he now instead is going to be making music about God and Jesus and politics and industry and teaching people to run their own businesses and things like that, instead of teaching them to go and try and get a line of Coke down at the corner store and go find a flipping hoe to bang out or whatever, man, what a jerk. Imagine that. How does he have the nerve to do something like that? It again goes back to what I said a few minutes ago. We've got to get on people's levels. We just have to. In my 20s, I listened to nothing but Lil Wayne mixtapes. The stuff that nobody ever heard on the radio, when he would just go in a booth and just freestyle. His one-liners were amazing. He always did it to great beats. And I look back at it now, he was singing about nothing but mind-rotting nonsense. So someone like Ye, who for a very long time was singing about all the same nonsense, if he can now make a switch and bring a whole bunch of people to at least consider a new line of thinking, a new angle, God bless that dude. And God bless everybody else out there who is fighting their battle. I know your battles are all different. I know some of you it's a husband versus wife. I know some of you it's a wife versus husband. I know some of you are getting grief from neighbors, close friends. I know this because I'm getting these messages and I am in these quarrels. I understand. Stay strong. Lead with love. But sometimes you've got to go to their place to bring them to our place. People will see. The truth will shine through. They can call us crazy. They can call us racist. They can call us all the things they want to call us. The truth will shine poo. The truth, wow. The truth will shine through, and the people who go looking for the information will find that truth for themselves. A lot of times people have got to find that information. You can't tell them. You can just serve some stuff up. You can lead them to find the information, which is what I do for a lot of you. To everyone who says, Jared, just give me the answers. No one gave me the answers. And I don't have the answers. Do your own research. Find your truth. Follow your heart. God bless America, everybody. Stand strong. We are in for very, very scary times still. We are winning and we have the most amazing times ahead of us. That doesn't mean that things aren't going to be a little nerve-wracking in the meantime. Keep a level head. Stay strong. Love your neighbors. Bring people along slowly. Jared RedRacer Video. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. RedRacerVideo.com. Go buy one of my shirts.